Fifth wheel, that's another one. It's more talking about, or the third wheel, it's talking about, yeah, why are you here? You're just tagging along. Have you guys ever heard that? You're a third wheeler or fifth wheel? It's like when there's a group, you know how people end up going in pairs? When there's an odd one out, you can say you're the odd one out. That's the fifth wheel, third wheel. And it's like, why are you tagging along? No one invited you. That's what that's using, referring to. Number 4. Stuffed to the gills. You know what gills are? Gills are actually the breathing mechanism in the front of a fish, like the lines that they breathe out of when they go through water. It's also how they eat the nutrients of the water. So, if you're stuffed to that point where your gills are full, that means you've eaten a lot as a fish. It means you have no time to excrete it. So, stuffed to the gills means, yeah, you ate a lot. You're full. Like sometimes. They also say, what else do they say? You eat, your stomach's not as big as your eyes. Have you heard that? It means you put more on your plate than you can eat, and then after you eat it all, you're just stuffed to the gills. You can't barely move. Okay.
So you say you are stuffed?
You could say you look stuffed to the gills, like if you're just sitting here kind of lethargic. You look stuffed to the gills. Or I could say, I'm stuffed to the gills. More nowadays, we don't say to the gills, but you can still say that. I just say I'm stuffed or I'm full. Okay. Tongue lashing. Tongue lashing. Do you know what lashing is? To lash out at someone is to like frantically kind of get angry at them. So tongue lashing would be like a frantic movement of the tongue. So what do you visualize when you like pretend this is my tongue and I'm like maybe angrily, getting too angry. If you tongue lash out on someone, it means you do something quick. So you yell at them. You're yelling at them. It's tongue lashing. Number 6. Stick your neck out. What do you think that means?
No idea.
To stick your neck out means to do something for someone that could get you in trouble, but you do it anyway. Like say someone needs you and you want to be a good friend to them, but you're putting yourself at harm's way. It's kind of putting your neck out for them. The literal sense is kind of difficult to figure out there. I don't think there's really an origin to it, but that's just what it means, to stick your neck out for someone. To help them out. Putting yourself in harm's way for them. Like if your parents were to help you. What was that metaphor that Justin used? Yeah, your parents turn your back on them. Well, most of the time our parents don't turn their back on us, do they? They stick their necks out for us. They go to the last extreme to help their children. Hopefully. If they're good parents. Okay. Number 7. Take your medicine. What do you think that means? Have you ever heard of you can't handle, it's a dose of your own medicine? Have you heard that before? Sometimes when we maybe make fun of someone and then they make fun of us back and we get hurt by it, it's like a dose of your own medicine. Can you handle it? So taking your own medicine would be like accepting responsibility for something that you've done. There's also a more common one, you are what you eat. It's like take responsibility for your actions. What you do defines you. Is that too complex? Do you understand? A dose of your own medicine is probably my best example. Actually, there's another African proverb. It's don't take a pill for another man's headache. It means don't get hurt by somebody else's problem. Don't let that affect you. So So medicine here just really means a dose of something. Because medicine, like, it affects your mind, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So don't let something else affect you. Anything that will affect your body. Is medicine. So what does it mean again? Remember, after all those complex examples. What does take your medicine mean?
Being responsible.
Being responsible for your actions. Jennifer, number 8. On pins and needles. What would it feel like if we were on pins and needles? Yeah. So you might be like, have some sort of anxiety to be around. You're not comfortable. Yeah, on pins and needles. To be very nervous.
Just in the movie they were using this.
In a movie?
Yes.
It's very common to hear figurative language in movies because it's sort of a creative art. So keep your ears peeled for figurative language. Next one.
Fly off the. Okay. Fly off the handle.
To fly off the handle. It means to get angry. When you fly off the handle is kind of like to fly, something that happens really quick. So if you fly off the handle, you just overreact over something and you get really angry. I think another one is like to fly off the wagon or something. If you're holding a handle, you're holding on to something pretty tight. You're pretty well posed. If you fly off a bit, it represents what? Kind of an uneasy situation. But it means to get angry. Number 10? To toot your own horn. Who knows what tooting a horn is? Toot is like beep. Like when you beep a horn in the car, it's like toot your own horn. So sometimes we toot our horns when we get angry or we want to sign someone, like, oh, you're driving incorrectly. But also, sometimes we just do it when we're happy. Like if you're on a bike and you have to toot your horn, you just do it because you're happy. So it's also like a celebration sound, tooting your own horn. So if you're tooting your own horn, it means you're boasting about yourself. You're talking loudly about yourself. So if you toot your own horn, it means you're kind of bragging. Do you guys know what bragging means? Bragging and boasting means talking about your own accomplishments to make yourself appeal higher, in a higher regard. Number 11. He's a bit long in the tooth. That one's kind of difficult. It means, does anyone know what it means? It means he's old. I actually looked that one up because I didn't really know where that came from, but it's actually a horse's tooth. Human teeth don't get longer with age, but a horse's tooth, they often use that to figure out how old a horse is, and they do grow with length. So it's an old one. That means he's old. Wendy, number 12.
But apple, bad person.
A bad person. Yeah. There was also a movie I can remember in like the 60s. It's called The Bad Seed. It's about a little girl that didn't do anything. She wouldn't do anything good. She just was mean to all the other children, and she even manipulated her parents. So the bad apple. I think that's probably comes from the Bible. If you've ever heard the story of that. Okay, 13.
I'm going to lay down the law.
Lay down the law. What does that mean? If you lay something down, you lay it down in front of somebody for them to see.
I guess to see what's going on.
Yeah, to set down the rules. Like if your parents are going to lay down the law, like you're trying to misbehave or rebel against them, they're going to lay down the law. If you want to live under this roof, you're going to obey by my rules. That's what my parents always said. Lay down the law.